상무도 저스텔레 감상 아니 다른 건조 시드니 퀸나로 요심베 페버 망부직다 아니 페베 겹겨 넘버 망부지 아니 메게 시드니 지게 사랑라 좀체 아니 저 단당 건조 공소쇼라 생기 결함 카 망부지기 아니 세메쇼 금셀라 텐체 안타는 오고시 아니 코디시어다라 원데라 나다 나저 능미 빨라 암라베모 나저 상마 아니 메게라 오고라 저도 조심바이 아니 메게라 레셰게 아니 년톤도 수 된데 시제 안 상마를 직도한 거 삼소 원디 다른 년톤도 수유 실례야 트레이닝라 나오는 망치 배바리시야 먼저 내 망치 아주 낭 메기 캐보찬다 던지 있는 게 정말요 별다 오늘은 이렇게 딘지 하이라 맞아 따야 맞아 산다 마침 플레이스를 내더라 미용 좀 남기 어제 캠베 진짜 준비들이 스위치를 캠베게라 캠베게를 빠트고 다른 거 좀 다 이 위로를 되게 좋아요. 언니 아또 미가 틀리다. 아니 이거는 좀 사겨 요용 어디야? 나 정말 다른 원주 가고 결났어. 정원이 견nel리.
Thomas Delaya, Conrabi Kori Sangal, Pendan de Amalin Jomini, Chandizoga Tenzin Sui, Zoe Santiabat the Tenchi. Matsu Tering de Saman Dudichin and Zumgoya Kadichin Chavare Matsu Pumin Miriam Warangoni, Susosala Tratangoya, Peker Shambu Chagudu. Chedan Jarmuchi Sure. Pomerikin Santa Lana Mepa Yantapa Shivde Tramden Chesan Namianga so Pomerikin Samgona Sichia Tormatayagi using an opera Chesan Tusicheni Tandi Chala Mika Ola Shamonapo Yore Sonta Natu Samalogi Natu Shamona Pote Pigale Yore Natu Samalogi Zibunala Yoate Chatan Ning Sama Nala, Natu Jarmuchi, Tuji Cotton de Nala, Natu Yare, Natu Navia Torayamar, Sonsa, Pon Mirita, Jarambuchi, Tepa Tansita, Tipa Conjavate, Navia Soyamare. They are to such a Toria Samu Tangi Unit, Nonchari, Tortumare. Chesa Natu Jarmuchi, Pomerican Sometime Bichani, not to do Chemima Samalo Teran to Shen and Zomiore. T. Tony, not to Samalo, Samukari Tangoere, not to Lanamipa, not to Sontayavati, Consancho Dizana, Kongi Lamtunta, Kongi Zambulala, below Trichudun Chinala, Mirita, Tanashing Sinjin Choyola, Chambatan, Sewa Ninji. 장수회 제바 때다라 가서 참말로게 같은 삼시 다나싱에 가서 봄미리 땅 저런 곳에 빠게 대파 땅 소유함에 빠띠 돈에 가서 두시네 때랑데 좀 요아래 대치도 나도 때랑 링거 페땅다 링거 ngote야 세함에 빠땅 집데 다나싱에 잠불랑 참타요야 뒤돌아 넘버스 3명원에 룽아에 생겨 돈이 링거 페비 캡텔라 넘버스 3이 Tela papitoni number to Namji Teronas Shovein.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Please, come in a bit. Come in a bit. Please come in a bit. And I want to lead some chants today. I really want Sydney to hear us when we say, Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Borgalo! 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 Long life! Long life! Long life! Free Tibet! Please, I want people to put a hand up. If you know a family member, a relative, a friend who has been tortured by the Chinese government over the last 70 years of oppression, please put up your hand if you know someone who's been tortured by the Chinese government. Let the cameras, let those filming show. Every single Tibetan here has put their hand up. They know a family member, a relative, a friend who has been tortured by the Chinese Communist Party, tortured by the Chinese dictatorship over the past 70 years. Please, put your hand up if you have a family member or a friend, someone you love who has been taken away from you or killed, disappeared by the Chinese Communist Party over the past 73 years of invasion and occupation. Put your hand up. Let the record state, every single Tibetan here, 500 people, have their hands up. Every single person here has lost a loved one to the Chinese Communist Party. Murder, rape, torture. This is what the Chinese Communist Party has perpetrated on the Tibetan people. The Tibetan people have been invaded, they've been occupied, they've been colonized by the Chinese Communist Party. This colonization, this murder, this torture, it continues to the present day. So many people here have lost loved ones to the Chinese Communist Party. So for 73 years, the Chinese dictatorship has had their boot on the necks of the Tibetan people. For 73 years, the Chinese dictatorship has repressed the Tibetan people, the most repressed place on earth, the least free place on earth. Tibet has lost its freedom. The Tibetans have lost their land, lost their culture. The Chinese government is carrying out genocide, an attempt to destroy the Tibetan people, to destroy their religion, destroy their culture. For 73 years, this genocide has been ongoing. 1/5 of the Tibetan people have been butchered by the Chinese government. Up to 1/5. More than 1 million have been butchered by the Chinese government. 1.2 million is the official figure given by the Tibetan government in exile. 1.2 million Tibetans have been butchered. Every single Tibetan here put their hand up when they were asked, do you know a relative, a friend, a family member who's been tortured, has been killed? This is what we're facing here. And yet, despite this, the most repressed people on earth, a minority group that has been facing persecution for decades, forgotten and ignored by the world. Yet despite this, you have all these media bloggers, the Chinese Communist Party propagandists, they have kicked the Tibetans while they're down. The Tibetans have suffered genocide, have lost their land, lost their people, lost their culture. This is what people in the West fail to understand. The Tibetan people have lost almost everything. Almost everything. They've lost their people, their culture, their land. They've lost their homelands. The Tibetan people have lost almost everything at the hands of the brutal Chinese Communist Party regime. And yet still, people kick the Tibetan people when they're down. They kick the Tibetan people when they're down with the most false, malicious, brutal smears and lies that we've seen. Disgusting lies and smears. How can the media kick and brutalize a minority group that has lost so much. So much. The Tibetans have lost so much, and yet the media still abuse the Tibetans and attack the Tibetans and lie about the Tibetans. One of the last things the Tibetans have left is the internationally recognized global icon, the Dalai Lama. The fact that the world respects him for his 70 years fighting for peace and non-violence and compassion. Why? Why does the world forget the Tibetan people's plight? The Dalai Lama has fought for compassion and non-violence and the Tibetan people for 70 years. And people jump at the first chance they get to smear him and attack him and lie about him. We've got to say shame. We've got to say shame on all the people who've lied about the Dalai Lama, whether it be people like Louis Spears, Chinese Communist Party propagandists like Daniel Dumdru, massive media corporations like Sky News. You've got people lying about the Dalai Lama, using their platforms to lie and attack the Tibetan people when they're already suffering so much. We've just got to say shame. Please repeat after me. Shame. 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 Please repeat after me. Free Tibet. Free Tibet. Free Tibet. Free Tibet. Free Tibet. Free Tibet. Does Tibet need China? No. Does Tibet want to be a part of China? No. Does Tibet want freedom? Yes. Do you want freedom? Yes. Do you want to go back to your homeland and see your family members? Yes. Do you want peace? Yes. Do you want love and compassion? Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Nidu tamita tandengi rikchik, pare tamita ritandengi ni. Yige kanjumo tandengi subchine, tibe kasa suyabay mana. Thosen sirana, shikyo sirana, sabana ma chidu, chibe sirana chirana, teto hangazu, sabate chukutu, ngazu chiso chukutu, ngazu mire chukutu. Ngazu tirenji matla chachocha, tirenji ma kobab ko chiru suba jeno yesma, chachemedi, ngazu tawani de chigiyo mane, tawani de chigiyo mata. Kunjo subuto ngazu tirenji na ngazu leg begi rungu mane. 나도 대대라 좀 돼야지. 세시고 세야지. 회장도 그래야지. 되게 그래야지. 두 번씩 해줘야 돼. 나도 소다지까지 말아와. 소소의 제사교까지 개 말아와. 나라 이면은 제사교 기고 싶네. 되게다. 되게 상고시라 내야 돼. 라마 되게까지 이러와 가지고. 다 되게래나 나도 스스로 가만 되시여. 못다 되시여. 내가 약고 치네. 목표도 개고 좀 왔다. 목표도 기나서 바르려고 말다. 달라이 라마들의 배들이 쇼들이다. 대한민국의 세계에서 뭐봐도 별다 된다 맞서봐도 못 치고가 열어가지고 예세국이 열어. 디바소다 넘버 소리야. 다들이 망고지 차서도 이번에 부제시. 뒤들만 그만 겹쳐서 지어야 차 장모지한테 먼저 뒷나면 지어만. 세우치는 시기에 부제시. Long live! Long live! Long live! Long live! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Long live! Long live! Long live! Long live! Long live! Long live! Shame, shameless amba. Media da. Shame. Media. Shame. Media. Shame. Media. Shame. Media. Shame. Media. Long live! Long live!
So I'd like to invite on the stage a 13-year-old Tibetan boy who came to Australia as a refugee when he was 3.5 years old. Today, after all those years, he is here on the stage and he is here to speak for human rights. He is here to speak for Tibetan people who are being persecuted in Tibet. So here you go.
Ya, ta thongbar ta mi sama de la phewa tuche na ta theni nge ta nga cho inji ke na ne lecture khashil ji sha yin. Now, there are many different ways to get blessed by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Did you know that in our Tibetan culture, it is respectful to show your tongue to other people, as well as forehead touching, hugging, kissing. Therefore, it has absolutely nothing to do with sexual abuse in our Tibetan culture. But if it does have something to do with sexual abuse politically, then ask me, why were the young Indian boy and his mother, as well as the 120 other graduates, happy and not mad at what happened? Now, if you've watched the full video, it is clear that it was the young Indian boy's intention to hug His Holiness the Dalai Lama. He asked His Holiness the Dalai Lama if he could hug him. Now, straight after the public event had finished, the young Indian boy and his mother both got interviewed. And in that interview, the boy said he felt very happy and felt very blessed. His mother was also very happy that his son got a chance to be blessed by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So now, currently, because of the short video clip and all of these accusations against His Holiness the Dalai Lama, currently, I don't think I'm the only person, but I can't eat, I can barely even sleep, I can't even do every day-to-day things without being affected, without being reminded, because it is always on my mind. His Holiness the Dalai Lama means the world to me. He means everything to me. Therefore, in conclusion, I certainly believe that His Holiness the Dalai Lama should not be wrongly accused of sexual assault. As well as us, we should all have some common sense and not believe every single thing that we see on the social media. So my request to everyone is that most of the things that you see on the media and social media, they're all just propaganda. They're just assuming and jumping to conclusions without even doing some proper research. Therefore, you must watch the full video before you accuse His Holiness the Dalai Lama of such disgusting things. Now,
I also wanted to inform Mr. Levi Spears and others that if they do not understand who we are, let me tell you, the people gathered here and the people, Tibetan people in Australia, are the ones who have served in the Chinese jail as a Tibetan political prisoner for over more than 2-3 decades. We are the Tibetan people who had to lose our own land, who had to separate it from our own parents. We are the ones who are either orphans or semi-orphans. We are the ones who are the children of those political prisoners. We are the victim of Chinese government's occupation and restriction. And you have found the leader of that particular people fighting not just for the country of Tibet, but for the world peace. When we are in trouble, His Holiness is even fighting for the peace and justice of this whole world. And you have found only the Dalai Lama to talk about and to comment about. You are one of the most unlucky community presenter in Australia and this world. And I must tell you this because we are frustrated that you have chosen to denigrate such a holy person for the Tibetans. His Holiness the Dalai Lama is more than a god. For the Tibetans, he is our lifesaver of this life and the next life. For the Tibetans, His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama is the second Buddha of 21st century. I have understood from this situation that people can go any length to advance their career. People can go to any length to seek the media coverage, even without thinking that they are doing it to the wrong person. They are doing it to the wrong public figure. So this is the final request from me as a son of political prisoner, as somebody who has semi-orphaned, that if you do not understand something, you must study first and speak up. Otherwise, it creates more hate. It creates more disharmony. It creates a wound that is hard to heal.
외견나라 직징이 시아나 삼성 가라스 나가서 아청진의 지도에 정인의 기란쪽이 구석진이 땅세력이 저쪽이 뒤미지대 니인도 많아서 별번 넘거든요. 마음을 가르치 두나 양무도来된다. 간대내나 나도 참배기 쓰면 나라 막았어요. 나도 참배기 쓰면 나라 나섰어요. 나섰어야 돼. 쓰면 요지라. 때문에 좀 많이 받아. 상황적인 루벤나 대게 미게 고등학교는 수요이나데 성교나 캡타도 엑스도 수요이나데 단대대 초반 대게 미스도와 소속이 초와에 전달라 수고이나데 가르치는 수고에 있는데 간다 맞춰서 막았어요. 관당 예도니 국민도 예도 간대 야고에 되니 국민도 예단 간대 예되니 국민도 밑좀내래 니 국민도 와 칼라를 산에 주민도 가지고 마다 아주 참을 강이 쳐야 돼. 이래 되면서 부다 제를 니요와 알레 담보 텔이야 마지 되니 流动的钱，刚才俺说写水吧，别拿了，今年做下事业去，叫我们去，天天俺说看下过来为那，也没有这个团呢，叫我们去的，平民吃个素质都这个给穿大衣吧。叫我们去的了，刚开始觉得什么，俺说别把厂子动手就去雇一个的，俺说挺弄重视他的。但对，这就我蛮大，忙过了，肯定是刚才这个人呢。俺说别把一毛就好过呢，别把一毛得来，楼梯上蛮大，楼梯上蛮嘞，楼梯给这些个这边呢，他那不过纯粹的楼梯是蛮嘞。我也没做过呢，多大没做呢？河南到了刚阳没有的，每年是一百人家当然好过呢，俺那个是别把一毛的好过的。가서 이만 베스펠랑아 대회가도 라면 중징자 가면 도다 아마도 저기 위도대 통하다가리야 또라 때야 시에송사 시기를 왕문에 보고 순조리 모수고 말인데 가리에 났습니다 보고 연락자 약당조에서 잡는 양하나 지금 무대에 났어 가요 말와 대lindel레 연애를 매내래 도스탄에 막고 쉬우슬리고도 수도 이날레 못도거든요 요시기를 와 이날레 나가 봐 침배 감라 소소 보고라 나저 경력이 야샤 개별 하대는 경로치 대